Okay.
Okay.
Gee, all right.
All right. Let me know when.
Yep. We're on the air on Facebook Live.
Hello.
Wi-Fi. Yeah. Uh, he's sick.
Oh
So,
no.
he's been sick for a while now, so he
Does
just
it?
has some days that he needs more love than others.
Ah, that's what it is. He's lovesick.
Yeah.
Who's not?
All right, we're on.
All right.
Hmm.
Is it? Are we on? I don't see
We're
the.
on Facebook Live.
Ah, Facebook Live. Okay. Okay, I got that.
What do you want to do? Sorry, I need to reposition my cat.
No worries. Oh, I got a full frontal of Spider.
But it's a PG full
It
frontal.
was it was a PG full frontal.
All right, now you want to go? We're going to start recording. I like it that I don't even have to count anymore for the recording.
Yeah, isn't that cool? All right.
Yeah.
Although I like the count. It's nice. Wait, here we go. Got it. All right. Welcome to Cabomil News and Community Update in English. This is Korey Riggs along with Claudia Velo. And if you were listening on Cabomil, it is July 25th on Sunday. Or you can watch us on Cabomil News on Facebook, Facebook Live. Claudia, how are you today?
I'm good. It's hot out there.
It's
It really
very
is hot.
it's very hot, and I had a hard time waking up this morning to do this recording. It was my birthday yesterday, which you were there, which
Yes,
thank you.
happy birthday.
Incredible at Tamarindos, and what a spectacular event. Just thank you everyone that made that happen. I loved it, and I don't feel older, by the way. I feel younger.
That's good. I mean, I'm way older than you are, and I keep saying when I grow up, I'm going to do whatever.
Well, Claudia, tell what's happening. There's a lot going on in Los Cabos right now.
Yes, well, first, of course, we need to remind everybody we are staying at level 5 until at least the middle of next week of, well, this week that is starting on Sunday as you're listening to this show. But also it is the new health alert system. So a lot of the retail activities and commercial activities are still open, of course, allowing that 30% maximum capacity. In the midst of this, we had the beginning of the ATP tennis tournament, which is the Feld Open, and it is the sixth edition, no, the fifth edition of this tennis tournament. It was held this year at the Cabo Sports Center, and which is on the corridor. So it was a new venue, different from the ones where the ATP was played before. And it was held at closed doors with by invitation only attendance, but people were really happy to experience the event. Of course, everybody had to show proof of non-COVID presence in their bodies before they went in. There were international players from Australia, Japan, the US, of course, two Mexicans, a player from Ecuador that moved on to the quarterfinals.
Oh wow.
And so we're recording this on Friday, so we don't know yet who
Who
won.
won? So sorry about that.
But it's been a great event, and a lot of surprises. On Thursday night, the a player that was coming on really strong from Australia, Thompson, was defeated by a 19-year-old US player,
Wow.
Nakashima. And so Friday's games are going to be exciting. And if you follow us on Facebook, on Cabomil News Facebook page, we'll be posting some of the results there as well.
And
But it's been exciting.
No, and I have to say, you and I have been lucky enough to go to the event, and Banca Mifel has done a great job with their sponsorship. Incredible, first class. It just being in the tennis village there, really nice job with how they've created that, and great event. I can't wait till next year, where hopefully it's open to everyone and that people can come in. But what a great venue, what a great event, and I know it took a lot to put it together in this environment. I mean, not easy to put an event on right now, and I know it was years in the making. So great event. I can't wait to see what happens tonight, and yeah, looking forward to that. So go ahead, Claudia. Sorry.
No, the other thing, and this is of course world news, the Olympics in Tokyo started on the 23rd, which is when we're recording. So again, not a lot of news on Sunday. This is both the Paralympics and the Olympics, and it's going to, a lot of the events, most of the events will be held at closed doors, but the world is following, of course, through a lot of different streaming platforms, and more traditional media networks are also broadcasting. The opening ceremony was held on the 23rd, and I guess it's easier for everybody to follow the Olympics in this occasion because
yeah, you're staying home. You can watch it on TV, right? So
yeah, but I don't know, sports events without an audience kind of like take away from the athlete's experience, in my opinion. Again, I'm not saying that's the way it is, but in my opinion, when you have a stadium full of people cheering you on, there's a different energy and intention. But best of luck to all the athletes. Cabomil is going to be broadcasting on a daily basis with the results, and of course following the Mexican athletes and their performance.
Very good. Well, before we get into our interview, we have a great interview today with Luis Garduño of the Food Security Alliance, and we'll talk with him in a minute. But I wanted to tell you, I'm getting ready to drive up the Baja, which I've done a few times. I'm going up to Arizona for a couple weeks, and the drive is just incredible, and I recommend it to everyone if you've never done it. But just going through Loreto and Guerrero Negro and all up through Ensenada, it's the most beautiful drive that you can imagine. The area around Loreto, Claudia, is just incredible.
The Sierra de la Giganta is such a beautiful landscape. It's like there's layers upon layers of the mountains as they just get higher on the horizon. It's beautiful. And Guerrero Negro is like going to the moon.
I know.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah.
So I'll have some pictures we'll share. We'll talk a little bit. Maybe I'll interview some people on my way up the Baja that you can share on the show. That'd be a lot of fun. So we'll do that. So I'll let you know how that goes. And all right. Well, we announced last week, we were talking with Modu on our show last week, and Modu announced that he was having a new baby. With the first time, no one knew it yet except him and his wife. And at that same moment, I was about to announce something, and I think a lot of people thought I was going to have a new baby too. But no, the new baby is actually the food bank. And we talked about the food bank and how excited we are. And we wanted to bring in Luis Garduño, who is really the mastermind behind this, the first food bank in Los Cabos. And we're going to talk about that and the Food Security Alliance in general and the incredible work that has been done. We know about what happened with the Alliance, and Luis Garduño was in charge of all the logistics, which was an incredible job. And now he is running the Food Security Alliance and this new food bank that's going to happen it's actually in Cabo San Lucas, which we're very excited about. But Luis, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Korey. Thank you, Claudia.
Welcome.
If you're watching, we're on Facebook Live, which we recommend because it's a lot of fun. You can see everybody. You can see Luis he's on the go. He's in his car, ready to go somewhere. Probably.
And that's the way I run my life lately. Hey, happy birthday!
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I appreciate it. It was fun. So tell us, Luis, tell us about the Food Security Alliance. We've had you on the show before, but there's a lot of new people listening. If you can just give us a little history about it. What is it? What are you doing? And then we can maybe talk about the blood bank. No, the food bank. Food bank.
Sure. Well, Food Security Alliance was founded in 2013, and we have been working pretty much in creating alliances between stakeholders to make sure that there is food security in Baja California Sur. After the pandemic and after that great effort that was made by the Alliance of distributing over 2,000 to how much?
214,000.
14,000 dispensaries everywhere in the state. Then the eyes of many people turned to food and to food security. And I think that was fantastic. The energy of the community is still here. And now with the help of all of the community, we are here to stay and to grow this effort. Many, many thanks to the Alliance and to all of the people that has been pushing this effort. So thanks to that, we have over a year working on the Food Security Alliance, strengthening and growing our operations. And now we are pretty much getting ready to launch the first food bank in Baja California.
Yay!
Amazing. Can you tell us a little bit about how the Food Security Alliance is also empowering people? Because it's not just this idea of let's give stuff to people, but turning them into their own stakeholders and kind of like
Sure.
the center of the whole effort.
I think that one of the beautiful things that are happening is that we are being able to design this project from scratch in 2021. So we are being able to learn about different efforts in the world that are working differently and how food banks in the United States and in different parts of the world are thinking behind and kind of reaching farther than just giving. So we're modeling our programs in that sense. So we have three main lines that we're going to be working with. One is a food bank, which is about recovering food and giving it to the people that most need it. Just a little parenthesis into that, 35% of the food that is being grown in Mexico is wasted. That's a lot. If we put that into water, the waste of water for producing that food will hold all Mexicans for 2.5 years, etc. We can go to CO2, we can go to money. It's a lot of food. So our job is to recover as much as we can of that food and bring it to the people that need it, because 28% of the people in Baja California Sur is not sure that they're going to be able to eat all week in the next week. So that's one job. The other job is working with the producers. As you know, most of our food that we eat here in Baja California Sur comes from Velo in Mexico, and most of the food that we produce goes to the States. There's no logistics, there's no procedures to connect local producers with local markets. So that's one super interesting job, to empower producers, connect them with local markets. And the third part is about empowering communities and working with them to be able to have more resilient communities in Baja California. So there is a lot of places where vulnerability is strong. So we're working with different leaders and organizations and creating alliances to be able to strengthen the resiliences in these communities. And that's interesting. It goes to nutrition, to family economy, to health, water. Water is super important. Protección civil, how do you say that?
Civil protection. Yep.
Civil protection, etc. Along with that, we're also creating an statewide plan to respond to emergencies, taking into consideration everything that we learned from the Alliance. We need to have all of the people having a plan and being able to work together in case of a food emergency happens.
No, and Luis, the job that you did with bringing in all the disparate organizations and different people and different personalities, as you can imagine, to bring them together and get them to work. It was incredible. The biggest thing too that was so interesting was how you got the military involved and the government, and how they really helped with the distribution. Can you just talk a little bit about that, about what that meant to the alliance, having the government involved, and how they helped?
Sure. I mean, that was a titanic job. It was impossible for one organization or one person to do it. So the board of the alliance was extremely visionary to be able to see how important this was going to be and match all of the efforts from the iniciativa privada, from the public sector, from the private sector, from all of the businesses, from almost 500 volunteers that give their time to participate, plus the three levels of government. So without that it will be impossible to reach this the effort that we did. And it was not me, Korey, but it was a full group of people that was behind it. I was just kind of trying to coordinate efforts. It was, remember, it was like we were 5 people thinking about it, then next week 40 people thinking about it, and then 2 weeks after 500 people working on it. And it was really fantastic.
Yeah, it really was fantastic. And I think what you're saying here, to be able to respond to emergencies, because we know that this area can be subject to hurricanes. And what's so great about what was done is that, if hopefully it's not going to happen for a long time, but we should say when, not if, because of course there'll be another hurricane that hits. But when that happens, that we'll be ready, that there's a system put in place, because as we know, a lot of times when hurricanes happen, people just run out to help, and it's not really organized. And sometimes it's very good that people do that. But I think now having this system that's very organized, put into place, is just going to help the whole community. And just, it's a great effort. Luis, how about the food bank, and what does that mean for Los Cabos? And it's just amazing. I think most people is surprised to think there's no food bank here. How is that possible? There is one in La Paz, correct?
I'm sorry, my phone came and I lost you.
Don't worry. I was talking about the food bank, and I think people are surprised that there's not one here, that there hasn't been one. There is one in La Paz. Isn't that correct?
There is a little one, small effort, which, with the capabilities that it currently has, it will never be able to reach the level of a food bank connected to the food bank network in Mexico. So at this level of efforts, it's really going to be the first food bank in Baja California Sur. And the way we're designing it is that we are going to have 2 food banks at the same time, one in La Paz and one in Los Cabos, and they're going to be working together.
And when do you expect, because I know you've shown me the location, which is great. It's in Cabo San Lucas, and it's very good for logistics. That's right as you enter town. When do you expect that to be in operation? I know we're still raising funds for that, and we're still looking at getting some donors. But when do you expect, or what's your thoughts about that?
We're looking at 4 months from now.
Okay.
Right now we're designing we have both warehouses, and we're designing everything to be able to have it on an hygienic process. Managing food it's had some complications. So we're designing it. We're going to be reaching for specific donors in the construction world to help us finish all of these processes, and then we're going to launch it.
You have been at this for a year now, working on this new stage. And how have you seen the community's attitude change, and the people that get involved change? What changes have you seen?
I think from the very, very, very beginning, when the pandemic started in March 2020, that everything was closed. Starting from there, the response of people was fantastic. I can still feel the energy that we all had responding to an emergency like this was. And I'm impressed that till this day, there's a lot of support. And many people is reaching out. Hey, what do you need? How can we help? Foundations, organizations. I'm honestly surprised in the way that people is reaching out and helping. And yeah, community is extremely important to solve this security called Baja. And
Yeah, I remember during the press conference that the Community Alliance gave to commemorate its first year of being organized, you showed a video of this lady that lives in some way out there neighborhood, and she started a little community kitchen,
mhm,
and then the Food Security Alliance made it possible for her to continue her efforts because she obviously didn't have the means to buy all this food to feed. I think she was feeding something like close to 100 children every day. And so how do you see this kind of like grassroots movement of community kitchens and people, usually women, coming together, becoming the mothers of a small sector of their community, and how does that interaction work?
okay, that's a fantastic question. Her name is Marta, the leader of this food pantry, and we are working with over 72 of Martas in La Paz and Los Cabos. And they're really fantastic women. I don't know where they take that energy. And they decided, for many different reasons, to advocate their lives to be with the children and help the children. As you might or not know, many people that work in Los Cabos and La Paz need to go to work and they need to leave their kids behind. Now with the pandemic, kids are alone in their house. So Marta, for example, accept them in their house, over 100 kids, and give them food. Some food pantries give them access to help in the school, psychology, many other things. So we have discovered a network of empower women leaders, fantastic women, and they're really changing the lives of over 3,000 kids in Cabo and La Paz. I cannot imagine how the lives of these kids will be without them. So what we learn is that the only thing that we can do with these women, because they have so much passion, they have so much power, they're such leaders. The only thing that we can do is empower them through knowledge, different knowledge that they might not have, and creating like kind of network between them. So that's one of the programs that we have. It's called in Spanish Pilares del Desierto, and that's part of the resilience program that I was talking about.
And it's been incredible, Claudia, because this Marta that Luis is mentioning, I've had the opportunity to take some donors from our foundation out to meet her, and every time they meet her, they're just blown away. And there's been a lot of help from the community for this particular kitchen, and now we're getting out to other kitchens. And as soon as people go out and see it, which we invite any of you, please get in touch with us. We'd love to take you out, because once you see what's going on out there, you will want to get involved. I promise. 100% people that go out want to support, and we're happy to do that. So we'll make sure that we link the Food Security Alliance into the Facebook page, and you can get in touch with Claudia or myself, and we can definitely take you out and show you the community. But what an incredible woman Marta is, and her whole team. Socorro also is there with her, and just been a lot of support. And a lot of these 72 kitchens that you're talking about, Luis, how many people a day would you say are receiving meals?
Yeah, they don't. Not all of them work every day, but in total, there are over 12,000 people. 12,000, yeah, 12,000 people in total.
Wow.
So
Wow.
some of them operate 2 times a week. Some of them operate 5 days.
Okay. No, that's an incredible number. An incredible number. You and I were speaking, Luis. You mentioned also taking the food that's being wasted, and we were talking about a possible program in the future of going to the restaurants, going to the different developments. Can you talk a little bit about that, about some of the thoughts?
Sure. Bamex, which is the Mexican big Food Bank Alliance network. There are over 55 food banks in Mexico that are connected to this network. Has a program. It's called Al Rescate. And pretty much what they do is work with different hotels, restaurants, banquetes,
Events.
events, so that every food that is left, which is super hygienic and it's eatable without any food issues, problems, they packed it, they put a etiqueta, and they fridge it. So we have an application. The restaurant or the hotel send us a message. It arrives directly with the application to whoever donor will receive it, and we go and pick it up. It's super simple, and we need to grow this program as well.
So restaurants can contact you to get involved, and that's how it's going to grow. Is there going to be someone going out and recruiting new people? How is that going to work?
We're working with Batel, which is the Alliance of Chefs in Los Cabos, to be able to grow this program, and they're super willing to do it. They have always been super supportive for food efforts, and we're also going to be reaching different places. We're starting actually this week with Carl's Jr., which they donate in the food network in Mexico in most of the states, and they pretty much donate tomato and leches. So it's not hamburgers, it's but we're starting that program this week.
Well, good.
Very cool.
Good for Carl's Jr. Yeah, I think everybody can help in their own way. You know, some people can donate in cash, some people can maybe volunteer their time, but really, I'll make sure to share that video because it really puts it in perspective. It's like, here you are sitting thinking, oh, I have it so tough. And then you meet Marta. It's like, okay, yeah, no, I don't have it tough and I'm not doing enough. So then everybody will be motivated to really help this effort, which bringing food to everybody is like such a basic thing and so important. So all respect to what you're doing.
And there's so many ways to help each of these kitchens. I mean, just Martha's kitchen in particular, we had one donor come out and donate a stove, a new stove for her, an oven, and actually had it put in. And there's a lot of different things. There's a lot of needs for each one of these community kitchens that I know, Luis, you've mentioned that there's a list of each community kitchen has a certain amount of needs that's going to help them help more people. And so there's a nice way to get involved, whether it's using your own labor to come out and work on installing some of these things, or you'd like to donate with cash. There's a lot of ways that you can get involved in doing this. So
yeah, starting as soon as we start a food bank, we're going to need hands. So volunteering at the food bank will be an option. From going and pick up the fruit or the vegetables on the fields, or staying on the food bank, helping us with all of the packaging processes, to donating money to help us build the food bank, finalize it for the trucks, or now there's a lot of things that the community can.
Well, we're gonna take a quick break. Stay with us, Luis, and we also have Jacobo Turquie, who's going to come with us. After the break, we'll be talking with him about some real estate and other things, but stay with us. We'll be right back. Jacobo, how are you?
Muy bien, ¿y tú, Korey?
Muy bien, muy bien.
There you go.
Thank you for being here. This is Luis. Jacobo, I don't know if you've met him before.
What's up, Luis?
Mucho gusto. ¿Qué tal?
Luis runs the Food Security Alliance, and they just announced there's a new food bank coming to Cabo San Lucas. So
Fantastic.
We're on Facebook Live, so you know, Jacobo, right now.
Okay.
So don't do anything wrong. You just keep smiling. People are watching.
I would turn the camera anywhere else.
World is watching.
Well, Luis, before we'll come back and say goodbye to you on the radio, and cool. Just if there's anything else you want to share with us in the break here with anything about the Food Security Alliance or anything that people need to know.
we're super excited, and we're going to be really needing help from everybody. And I think that, as we mentioned before with the question of Claudia, there is a lot of need, and we can solve it through the community effort, being all together into reaching many of the goals that we have.
It's exciting because it's one of those projects that the whole community can get involved with. It's easy to understand, and I think it's one of these things that we'll be able to. Well, I know we're already getting lots of support for it, and we're looking forward to get more and get the whole community involved. So, Luis, thanks for what you're doing.
And also, I want to thank you, Korey, and all of your team for the efforts that you're doing to support the bank. That's fantastic.
It's exciting. We'll keep it. Go ahead, Claudia.
Something that's important is that, because the need is out there, and there are a lot of well-intentioned people, but it's important that they reach somebody that is organized and that is actually running things and understands the whole logistics, has like the big picture, like Food Security Alliance, because we also see often that one kitchen ends up getting 13 stoves that are just,
Yep.
stuck in the back of some empty lot. So having somebody to actually handle the logistics as you do through the Food Security Alliance is critical. And it's really what makes all the good-hearted people donations really reach the places where they are needed. So I think that is something that needs to be highlighted.
Yeah, that's a fantastic point, Claudia. And if I can just kind of illustrate a little bit that, for example, if one food pantry is in a very risky zone, you might not want to support it with infrastructure. You want to root something that is going to have some troubles in the future. And then there's many other things.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe we can kind of close with that.
Yeah, we'll go back. You just let me know, and we'll close with that.
All right, and here we go.
Welcome back to Cabomil News and Community Update in English with Korey Riggs and Claudia Velo. We are finishing our conversation with Luis Garduño. There's lots of good stuff, bonus material if you go to Facebook Live and watch us at Cabomil News. And Luis, anything you want to say to end this segment about what you're doing, what you'd like people to know? You mentioned something about the whole community getting involved, but why don't you end us with some inspiration here about getting involved?
Sure. 3 things super shortly. First, thank you, Korey, and all of your team for being so supportive for the food bank and the Food Alliance. It's really, really, really fantastic, everything that you guys are doing and helping with us. Secondly, I think that we're talking about community, the community effort to be able to solve such a big problem that we have in Baja California Sur. And it has been fantastic, and it still needs to be going. So everybody can get involved, and we're super open for everybody to be involved, and we need it. And thirdly, Claudia was mentioning it recently, but I think it's important to be able to coordinate our efforts of food security through the Alliance, because we can understand the big picture of things. I don't know, Claudia, if you want to explain a little bit better.
Yes, what we were mentioning is that often there are good, well-meaning people that see a need and want to address it directly. And sometimes it's not really reaching the places that there is needed. That's why something like the Food Security Alliance is so important, because they have the big picture. So if you want to donate, if you want to help, get a hold of them, and they can tell you where your donation, where your efforts will be best used. So that's basically the point, is like, it is great to help, but it is even better to help where it's really needed.
Luis, thank you very much. Thank you for being on the show today. We're excited to have you back and just to track the progress of the Food Security Alliance. You're doing an incredible job, and looking forward to talking soon. Thank you for being here.
Korey.
We'll back.
Thank you, Claudia. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Luis.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
one. All right. Well, we are joined also by Jacobo Jacobo, can you pronounce your last name for me? Because I always mess it up, and I apologize because I've known you for so long.
What I say to the gringos is, you don't say
Tur-
Turkey.
Turquie. And I have to let me.
It's a French name. It's pronounced Turkey.
Turquie.
I want to avoid that Turkey. So,
Well, we're excited. I have to tell Claudia a little story because since I came to Los Cabos, I've been here since 2007, 2008. There is one person that no matter what event I'm at, no matter what dinner I go to, no matter what anything I am ever at, this is the most ubiquitous person in Los Cabos. He is everywhere, all at the same time. I think he has clones, and I think I don't know why he's not mayor of Los Cabos. I know, Jacobo, you used to be the head of tourism for Los Cabos, correct? Or for the state? Was it for the state or was it for the?
it was both, actually. I served as the state first in 2010, 2011, and then 2012 when we hosted the G20. I was the local director of tourism. Yeah.
And Jacobo, tell us, because we're gonna get into it, and the reason why we're interviewing you is, of course, I was at another event, and who was there? But Jacobo. So I said, we got to have this guy on to talk about real estate, to talk about just Los Cabos in general, tourism, and he always brings a lot of great information to the table. Jacobo, tell us what you're doing now. What's your main gig?
Well, right after the G20, I joined Snell Real Estate. Actually, it was the first local Mexican who joined Snell Real Estate, and this was acquired just a year after Vanessa Fukunaga and Dieter Esch acquired Snell Real Estate out of Chris Snell. And then when I joined is when we got the license for Engel & Volkers, which is the largest franchise mostly in Europe on high-end real estate. So Dieter, being a German, he loved the idea of having a bigger brand so we can grow this company more internationally and not just a local high-end real estate brokerage. So I joined them in 2013, actually the beginning of 2013, and that's when we opened that office in the shops of Palmilla, right next to the regional Snell Real Estate office. So I mean, it's been an amazing journey. We have increased the amount of agents and the international, in an international way, I mean, we got Russian speaking, French speaking, Farsi, German, I mean, you name it. We got pretty much a good variety of agents and very capable. We're selling like crazy this last 8-9 months, starting last November. It's been records. I mean, we've been just posting records and records of sales. And I got some statistics that I want to share with you guys.
Please.
A time, but I think everybody in Los Cabos is selling very well. Real estate is booming, and I believe that has to do a lot with the, every crisis. Every time there's a crisis, there's opportunities, and we lived this through Ordeal. Right after Ordeal, everybody was scratching their heads and saying, "Wow, when are we going to come out of this crisis?" And eventually, the following year was also a great sales year in real estate. And if you have the money, if you have the cash you want to spend, and that's the time that you can buy as an opportunity. And those who are in need to sell is the right time for them to sell as well. So it's a good formula, and I think this is happening again with this pandemic. And I believe there's a couple of other situations that have combined to make this record sales, and it's got to do with the interest rate in the U.S. that is so low right now. The mortgage and the interest rates, personal loans and all that, it has become to be a big factor for people to buy. They don't need to buy, but they got the money available, so they come in and buy. And think of yourself to be in a multi-million-dollar condo in Chicago, New York, and any big city. Guess what? If you get another lockdown, you're going to be locked in four walls. And this is something that people are looking at destinations such as Los Cabos, the weather, the openness that we have here. You don't feel enclosed. You have a nice size house. It doesn't need to be a huge mansion or anything like that. But you got a nice patio. You got outdoors. You got a pool. You got amenities in your community, and you don't have to be around that many people. So I think that has really come up to be a choice of most of these investors, most of these vacation or tourist people coming down to Cabo for the last years. I believe we have a solid value on property here in Los Cabos. They see an increase of the value of their properties most of the time, most of the years. So I think it's a great combination. It has become a great combination. And I believe also that Los Cabos, since last year, since I will say June, July, we start receiving, some of these homeowners just coming back, just getting away from their regular day-to-day and from their where they live, just to come down and say, I need some heat. I want to be away from my day-to-day routine. I want to, get myself centered and start fresh. And we saw, you saw in the Chileno Blab and all those high-end communities, the amount of people that just flocked down to Cabo, private jets and all. And then, of course, the commercial airlines start coming down with tourists, and we haven't stopped. Right now there's just a little slight, slowdown, but that's coming. Summer is always, slow time in Cabo, but it's not as slow as before. I believe in it, even though we're limited to certain capacity in restaurants and hotels and all, we cannot be complaining. I think Los Cabos is just steadily growing, selling, and we're just in a great position right now in Los Cabos.
Absolutely. And I love what you say about any crisis, there's always opportunity. And what we saw after Odile too, which I thought was so interesting, you mentioned people selling that probably needed to sell, but there was all this remodeling going on too, and just rethinking about how the town works and how it looks and what needs to go where. And that also has been able to bring Los Cabos back to the position that we are now because of Odile. I think Odile had a lot to do with this and just having that experience with that crisis not that long ago has helped people deal with this crisis.
Absolutely,
in a way
absolutely.
that
even the new construction, the new standards of construction in Los Cabos for residents, for commercial, for hotels, for everything has changed after Odile. And I think right now we're just every structure, every window is just more solid than before, because now we know we could be, exposed to a major natural catastrophe such as Hurricane 5, again. So I think we're more prepared. Absolutely. I think the infrastructure it's even better. And we came back stronger, I think. And I'm pretty sure that this is happening again with this pandemic. And if you see the news all over the world, things are not easy. But I think we're very fortunate to live in Los Cabos, and we're very fortunate to have our day-to-day and our lifestyle and the way we're just, living and making business here in Cabo, and we're just fortunate.
And Claudia, you and I have talked about this a lot before, the way the response has been from the hotel industry, from the restaurant industry, just from the industry in general here, it has really made people feel safe. And even though we've taken a step back a little bit here in terms of what alert level we are, people are still coming and they feel the planes are full. People are coming. The restaurants, it's hard to get now. I know that because there's 30% capacity, it's hard to get reservations anywhere. It's things are really still cooking. So you're right, Jacobo. It's lucky to be here. You were going to share with us some statistics. What statistics do we have?
There's so many numbers to share. The good thing about an MLS, a multi-listing like the one we have here in Baja California Sur, is that you can break this down to anything you need, like a specifics, that you cannot. I can go to 1-bedroom condos. I can go to 5-bedroom condos, or homes, to land, anything. But there's some brokerage that are doing up to 5-folds in their sales. It's just ridiculous.
Oh my gosh.
Year to date. Right now, the number of closed sales year to date, talking about just January up to today, we're talking about 150 million just in a couple of, a few brokerage. there's about 186 transactions closed already, and there's about 335 pending to be closed just in this few half of the year. You know, the first 2 quarters, we're reaching already sales over $500 million. I mean, again, this is without counting. You don't have El Dorado, you don't have Chileno, you don't have Maravilla, you don't have all those high end. Those guys are doing pretty much the same as everything else in Los Cabos. So we're already reaching, or we're already surpassing $1 billion in sales in Los Cabos in real estate. I mean, as simple as that. Those are staggering numbers. Those are numbers that were, you know, kind of hard to reach in a full year before. Mm-hmm. Now we're just, you know, heading into half the year, and we're already getting those numbers. And again, the end of the year is always, you know, one of the best months ever. But right now, we've seen the best months so far in February, March, and April. So I think we're just going to continue to see this numbers increase. We're seeing a lot of attend on Mexicans coming down, the nationals coming down to Cabo. They're realizing the importance and how solid of an investment is in Los Cabos, you know, compared to other destinations such as Cancun or Acapulco, Vallarta. I think Los Cabos has been, you know, little by little, it's getting discovered by the Mexicans more and more. And, you know, we're welcome those, and especially those who'd like to invest in Los Cabos. And I think we're just going to see a huge growth on demand as well. We're going to see new investment and new projects coming down. There's a few that are popping up, and you see the tendency of a new contemporary style, which is, you know, as long as they combine that contemporary with what we have here in Los Cabos, or the Baja style, it'll be great. You want to get out of the traditional, and this is because of the demand of the market. So I think the Mexicans can contribute. There's some great investors and great developers coming down, and they're doing great projects. So we'll be more than happy to sell those as well. You know, some comparison with past years. I mean, we're seeing an increase on both sides. I mean, on condos and houses, on land. It's just, again, you know, I'm going to share all this information that I have, the statistics, because it's worth for you guys just to break it down and have that options. I mean, we have even per area, you know, the properties sold and year to year comparison. I mean, I think at the end of the year, at the end of 2021, we're going to see record numbers. We're going to see numbers that will be hard to beat probably in the next, I don't know, 10, 20 years. So even the Eastgate, you know, the Eastgate was dormant for so many years. Now it's booming. Todos Santos is just waking up big time. And there's a lot of sales happening in Todos Santos. You name it, everywhere you turn around, it's just more and more staggering numbers. So we've been just focusing on making more sales, making good sales, giving the best service that we can provide. And again, I'm not talking just about you know, the company that I'm with. I'm talking about Los Cabos in general.
And you're seeing what the clients do. This is something that we've talked about in a group that you and I are in together, but you're seeing a difference in what people are looking for too in homes, right? That people aren't just coming to buy a home to be in for a few weeks. They're actually looking, how am I going to be there long term?
Correct. And also, you know, there's a lot of people considering whether if I'm going to spend some, you know, months here in Los Cabos, or I'm going to spend a week in Los Cabos, or I'm going to spend just a few days. I want that property to be a solid investment. I want the property to be probably rented when I'm not using it, and make some money, or at least it's not costing me. And most of the demand has been within a community that has services, that has amenities. You know, if I'm out and my family is here at home, you know, they're safe, they got you know, things to do, and they're entertained. And again, you know, I think a lot of people just do baby steps. They come in from timeshare fractional into full ownership. They do a condo first, and then they move up to a little villa, and then they move up to So it's a fascinating way to get a client, to sell a property, but also to do a follow up and to keep them in the loop, to give them the best service, because then you get referrals, and then from there you just go on and make more sales within the same clients. So yeah, the demand has been huge. The needs change, and the needs are, again, as I said, some people are just getting away from the big cities, and they want to be out of their four-wall condo, and they want to have an open villa or a house or an area where they can be outside, not just inside. And yeah, I mean, again, always the views are a top choice of the buyer, the investors. You get the views, you get the securities, you get the amenities. Some people, they don't, if they're going to spend very little time in Los Cabos or in their vacation home, whether this is their second or third or fourth, they may say, you know what, I don't care about the amenities. I don't care about joining a membership. I just want an independent house where I don't need to pay high HOAs. Now, mind you, the HOAs, when you combine the HOAs, the homeowners association piece, with the property taxes in Mexico in general, this is just even lower than just paying your property taxes in the US or Canada. So that always helps to make a sale as well. When they realize how much that is, the total property taxes you pay in Mexico, some people are like, really, that's it, that's all. I'm not going to surprises or along the way. It's true. And
Jacobo, we have a couple minutes left, and I know Claudia wants to get in a question here, and we'll keep you over the break, so we'll get some bonus material off air. But Claudia,
yeah, you've seen obviously this change in the needs for the market. How are you seeing Los Cabos as a destination, as a community, meet those needs? And not just in the terms of real estate, but how is the infrastructure and the services that Los Cabos is offering matching the needs of the market?
Well, I believe that we are, again, we're blessed just because of the weather and just because of our location and topography. I don't see Los Cabos getting saturated anytime soon, meaning there's so much places, there's so much area to grow to, right? So you have the Pacific. Cabo San Lucas, that's limited already. That's a town that is limited in size and volume and construction, all that. And then you have the corridor, which has been growing. That's what you were talking about, Korey, before, is that's what, after Odile, that's where the boom happened, really, along the corridor, and all these new projects and new hotels and resorts. And then San Jose has been growing steadily. I mean, that's a nice area that has been controlled, that is more ordered, I think. And then the Eastcape is just growing. And again, we see record sales in the Eastcape area. So I think it's just growing eventually and proportionate to the different areas. I don't see a saturation in one area per se. The demand and needs, I mean, you're talking about, even the basics, the water, the electricity, the transportation, the infrastructure. I think the investors and the developers are realizing the needs. So whenever you have a new investor coming down, they need to bring down also ideas and ways to resolve the water issue. There's demand for desal plants, for new projects, for new developments, for new resorts. They have to bring their own desal plant, and that way you're not taking the water out of the rest of the town. So I think there's alternatives to it. The other demand, it's, again, as I was saying, one thing is to have that Baja style, or Cabo style, or desert style of construction, but more and more the new developers are bringing innovative and self-sufficient technology as well. You see more solar panels, you see more new technologies that are making all of these new projects more efficient. And I think that's the way to go. And that little contemporary style also helps a lot. And I think we have some great material that is endemic of the area, and people are just using it and making better and more efficient construction than before.
Jacobo, we're running up against the break, but just one last question for you before we let you go, and that's: is it are you really a clone? Do you clone yourself? Because you are always everywhere.
The guy without beer.
And it's not just events. I go to private birthday parties. I go to and there's Jacobo, always there. But Jacobo, thank you. You've done so much for Los Cabos over the years, and just you're a great salesperson for our destination. And just thank you for all you've done. And please stay. We're going to keep you over the break. We'll talk just a little bit before we let you go. But thank you everyone for being with us this week. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you guys, both of you.
All right, so we're still on Facebook Live. Sorry, we were running out of time. I wanted to keep you talking. We'll have to have you back, Jacobo.
Fascinating.
Anytime.
It was great. Anything else, Claudia, before we wrap up the?
No, that was exactly just, I mean, there's a lot of interest from people going like, am I too late? Have I already missed the wave? And is it still time? But I think that you said it so eloquently, Jacobo, that it's still plenty to go around.
I'm going to send you both the mid-year report on real estate, so you guys have some statistics whenever you want to mention or break it down, and just have information on real estate in Los Cabos, because it's really it's useful for a lot of people as well.
Absolutely.
And this is mostly information coming out of the multi-listing. So, this is all clear and factual numbers.
Love statistics. Cool. They don't lie.
Well, good. Well, Jacobo, thank you. Send that, and maybe we can. I don't know if is something we could post, Jacobo. Is there a website, or is this like a PDF, or how is?
Yeah, I think there's a few statistics that actually you can post, because this is just information coming out of the multi-listing, and and you see the tables of like condos and houses, the increase in percentile per year. I mean, there's a lot of information here, and you don't need to put names of brokers or anything like that. This is just general information.
Yeah.
So I got a CV at Claudia Velo. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got KoreyRiggs@gmail.
You got it.
All right, man.
All right, Jacobo, thank you.
Thank you, guys, both of you. I appreciate it, and I'm open for any other invitation anytime.
Sounds great, and I'm sure I'll see you tonight at the event.
I'll be there. All right. You guys.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, and we're going to go off Facebook Live now.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.